against other companies?
Well, yeah, we're part of Flooring Extra, so it's a co-op. So there's 55 stores throughout the country. And at the last conference, we did really well actually in the metropolitan area. So that's all the stores in Auckland and Wellington and all that. We had the highest increase in turnover in the last financial year.
Awesome.
So we've been doing really, really good. And we also held our margin as well. We increased it from 2016, I think it was about 30, with last financial year, I think we did 33%. So we didn't let that suffer with that. So the business is not really reliant on lean at all anymore.
Well, actually, it's been great. Yesterday, I spent basically all day just replying to people and sending emails and things like that, which was good. And like I said, there's probably been about 15 leads come through that are keen to meet in January. So that's amazing.
Yeah, great. Yeah. Is that right?
That was our biggest thing. How do we get the sales up, and how do we change our model of how we're doing business? I think that we were sort of stuck in a rut a bit and not actually moving forward. It was funny business, and he did take customers with him when he left, but it's to our advantage. The business just growing and gone leaps and bounds since. Sales they've probably doubled since we took you on board, and it's just been great. I mean, it's become more pleasurable to come to work. We don't have the hassles. We don't have the infighting within the staff. It's great. It's great. Yeah. I think our turnover of staff has decreased remarkably since we sort of took control basically, and didn't allow personalities to take control of the business. We control it now. Yeah. I've had casual coaches on the side and bits and pieces, but when you got someone that knows your business and grows with it and it gives you advice along the way, it's great to have someone to sit down that actually knows what you're talking about and knows where you're going and knows where you want to go to and helps you get there, because sometimes it can be quite lonely sitting here. You're the boss, but you can't be friends with people at the same time. A lot of the time you've got to make decisions, and that sometimes they are pretty hard decisions, and to have someone that can sit there and work with you and say that you are doing it right, or you need to do something slightly differently, or attack it in a different perspective. It's great. It's great to have someone that can actually do that for you or help you through those tough times as well.
Look, the sales weren't there, and you came and did some PowerPoint things and did some workshops within our boardroom. Those were great because we were able to work on the strategic plan of White Refrigeration and what the goals are and what are the things we had to tick off. So it actually had us starting to think differently to what we had done prior.
Okay, and so can you tell me a little bit more about the people issues? Because you had some people issues at the start, like they didn't have necessarily everybody on the bus.
Yep, we really struggled with that. What we ended up having is we had team members that were all about themselves. They did their job, they wouldn't share, they wouldn't talk, they wouldn't communicate. Nobody could find anything. If you asked anything, they wanted to know why you wanted to know that. And I found that quite frustrating, that you're trying to work a team atmosphere, but people are all about themselves, not actually the business.
Yeah.
So we've really sort of done a 360. Today, I would say that we've actually got a better team culture going now. I've put management at certain levels. We're at 38 staff now. So we really sort of went from what was about 24, 25 staff to now we're at 38 or so. Our engineers are at 22, 23 vans on the road, and then the balance of them is admin in varying roles. In that, I've also taken on another salesperson, and that's contributed to new leads and new work, which has slightly been out of our normal scope of works, but it's a niche market which is proving to be really good for us, and I hope it continues.
Okay, cool.
All leads must be followed up with a phone call. All the information needs to be in there. All our emailing needs to be in there. So if someone got hit by a bus tomorrow, all that information is in there. We don't have to go, oh my God, we don't know where it's at, that type of thing. So there's a lot of process now that we never had before, and we had too much IP with one person. Now we're sharing the love so that there's always 2 or 3 people that know what's going on with jobs. Because when you've got clients who use us all the time and all of a sudden that person disappears, well, Pansy noticing, you need to have someone who also they can rely on. Otherwise they go somewhere else because they feel that, oh, I don't know anybody, it's a new relationship, I'll move on to somewhere else. And it's basically, if we're not working as a team, and contracts, admin, service, engineers aren't working in the same direction, and we have an I mentality, we're never going to be cohesive, and we're never going to get to the profitability that we really need to be. So now it's all about we as a team, and if you can't be a we on the team, get off the bus right now. And that's my mentality really going forward now, because I'm just not interested in, I'm not carrying people, I'm just not interested.
Okay, cool. So, and your tolerance has shifted around that, haven't they?
Oh, massively. Can you tell? Absolutely. Absolutely. But you also need to know that I've got their back if they've got mine.
Sure.
And I'm always been a believer is that you treat everybody the way you want to be treated.
Sure.
And there's no room for anything else. And I've had it, and the people have just not lasted.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And so the people on the bus now, how do they feel about the culture?
They're excited about the change. They're excited about my renewed enthusiasm. And they're here to back me now. And I can feel that I've got a team that we're going to succeed. So my 3 to 5 year plan will definitely be coming to fruition.
Yeah, great. Yeah, I can see that.
I try and take Fridays off now, and I'm finding that really good. Like tomorrow I am actually going to be working, but if I can take off every Friday or a half day every Friday, that is really good for me as a person, but it also means that I'm only having to be here 4 days a week. I'm working within the hours. I'm not doing long hours anymore because I've got other people that are taking accountability for certain roles. And if I've got to do their job, well, they may as well not even be here. So it's nice for me to have a bit of freedom.
I would say one of the biggest challenges that we had when we first started working together was I didn't have a clear direction. I didn't know what we should be focusing on and what we could put to the side. And basically we were just putting out fires left and right, and we were in a reactive mindset.
Yeah.
We weren't really planning. We weren't building foundations for the future. It was just a lot of activity, sporadic, and most of my days were just spent reacting from one problem to the next problem, getting more done. I have clearer thinking. There's more systems in place. More things are getting done faster, and I'm able to focus more. I'm just not overwhelmed, but I think I'm doing more work than I was 6 months ago.
Yeah.
But the biggest thing that I think that you've helped me with is dealing with the stress. So my stress levels have come way down.
Okay.
And I'm able to focus. I have a greater focus, a mindfulness on what I'm doing. My days are structured better, and we're getting a lot more work put out. Yeah, we're doing a lot better financially. I'm in a situation today that I haven't been in a few years. Able to pay my vendors on time, pay my staff without taking out loans.
Yeah.
And wondering how are we going to make payroll this week? How are we going to pay the rent this week?
Yeah.
Those are problems I'm not having to think about right now.
Yes.
So that in itself is just a huge relief.
Just give me a little bit of background. How many people on the team?
Well, before we started this, we were sitting around 16, 17 staff, and now we're twice that. So we've doubled in that time. almost doubled the turnover. Since we started that teamwork and to where we are today, the differences I see is we're now starting to get teamwork happening more, shall we say, naturally out there. So it's been a great journey. Probably the most significant thing to date, or two things would be, one is I can walk out of my office door and feel a lot more confident that things are going to continue to happen. So that's a great feeling.
Yeah.
The second one would be the experiences from going overseas.
Yeah.
Looking, searching, doing that sort of work for Titan that, Mark and I have had a ball actually doing that. At the same time, it's very hard work, but it's been exciting and, quite an adventure.
Okay, cool. And so you're off to China. When are you off to China?
Tonight.
Oh, tonight, right.
Yeah, this trip's a short trip because of the work, what we got on, the major job, but generally it's 2.5 to 3.5 weeks. We do feel more confident when we go away, yes.